Welcome to our news and thank you for joining us. I'm Natalia Hall. A dramatic turn of events today in the FTX implosion saga as the company's founder and former CEO Sam Bankman-Fried is now behind bars. Bankman-Fried, who was arrested yesterday, now facing extradition to the United States on charges of alleged fraud. Among other things, his company, once the third largest cryptocurrency exchange, worth $40 billion, collapsed following what experts say was a run on the bank. Now, Bankman-Fried filing for bankruptcy on the week of November 10th. But fast forward to today, it was a whirlwind that began with his court appearance and ended at the Department of Corrections, where our Marlena Leonard joins us live. Marlena, what are we seeing?
Well, we're live in front of the Bahamas Department of Corrections here, where at this hour it's believed that Sam Bankman-Fried is now behind these walls. So he left court shortly after 6 p.m. this evening after his bail was denied, and he's been remanded to this facility until February 8th of next year. So the weight of this day could be felt as early as this morning. So Our News was the only news house on the scene at the Cable Beach police station this morning as officers were planning the transportation of Bankman-Fried to his arraignment this morning. And as early as 9:30 this morning, an hour before he actually ended up leaving the station, 2 SWAT jeeps were already, coming to the side of the building, getting in position and trying to figure out what the best plan would be for getting him out of there safely. By 10 a.m., the doorways were really busy with activity as officers were still trying to figure out various ways to, block camera angles, but also make sure everything was safe. And we were asked numerous times to show credentials and, really prove that we were media and supposed to be there and make sure that everything went to plan. And just when we thought that he was actually coming out around 10:25, there was a last-minute change. The jeeps the SWAT jeeps took off and they went to the opposite side of the building. We found out from our cameraman who was actually stationed on the opposite side just in case something like this happened. And that was the side that they ended up whisking Bankman-Fried out of and taking him off to court.
All right, Marlena, and can you tell us, what is the scene like now?
Well, now, it's been pretty quiet recently. You have some guards occasionally looking out, keeping an eye on the activity. There have been a few people who've kind of slowed down and taken a peek, but at this point, it's kind of like the excitement has fallen away, or the nerves of the day have fallen away, and we're kind of just waiting to see what happens next year, because, February 8th is a while away.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Marlena. Our Marlena Leonard reporting for us live tonight. Well, the former FTX CEO will not be getting bail tonight and could spend Christmas behind bars. Our Bursting McDermott is back in studio with details of today's arraignment.
Natalia, the former FTX CEO Samuel Bankman-Fried's bail application has been denied, and tonight he is behind bars at the Bahamas Department of Corrections. The former FTX CEO appeared before Chief Magistrate Joyanne Ferguson Pratt after local authorities received notification from the United States that they have filed criminal charges against him and is likely to request his extradition. When asked by Ferguson Pratt if he will waive his right to extradition, Bankman-Fried, who was dressed in a navy blue suit and brown shoes, said, quote, "I am not waiving," end quote. That prompted the question of if the court had jurisdiction to hear a bail application, which resulted in an hours-long back and forth between counsel for both sides. However, in the end, the chief magistrate ruled that she could hear the bail application. In that application, Bankman-Fried's attorney, Jerome Roberts, told the court his client suffers from depression, insomnia, and attention deficit disorder and takes MSAM, MAO, Zyrtec, and Adderall. He added that the former crypto executive has demonstrated he is not a flight risk by his investments and actions. He also suggested his client be outfitted with an ankle monitor or be given a curfew or daily reporting to a police station and a cash bail. He added Bankman-Fried had no prior or pending convictions in any jurisdiction and had every opportunity to leave the country, but didn't, noting that he wanted to help fix things for local crypto customers. Franklin Williams, who is representing the U.S., argued that Bankman-Fried's property is only relevant if he is found guilty, noting that these properties could be subject to forfeiture. He continued the need for meds, which can be purchased over the counter, is not a reason for bail. He argued the 30-year-old has revealed his intention not to appear before U.S. Congress physically, adding that he cannot fight charges here. He also read a sworn affidavit which alleges he still has access to funds that could aid him in relocating to another country. In her ruling, Chief Magistrate Ferguson Pratt said she's of the view the risk of flight is so great that Bankman-Fried ought to be remanded, adding that any conditions cannot sufficiently satisfy that. Bankman-Fried's mother and father were in court for today's proceedings. His father was holding his head several times, while his mother was seen chuckling at times. The former FTX CEO returns to court on February 8th, where the matter will be transferred to Magistrate Shaka Seville. Italia.
Well, Berthany, earlier you mentioned that today's arraignment was unusual. Explain what that means.
Well, Italia, Bankman-Fried was transferred to the magistrate court on Nassau Street under heavy police guard in a Jeep all by himself. That's unusual for individuals going to be arraigned before the chief magistrate. Additionally, he was not handcuffed, nor was he shackled by the feet while inside the courtroom. Before entering court number 9 today, I was, searched by before going inside, again, something that does not usually happen. On the outside, media got into a back and forth with some authority as we were told to go outside the gate where we were originally stationed to try to get footage of Bankman-Fried going inside. Again, a lot of things happening today that just doesn't usually happen at arraignments.
All right, Berthany, thanks so much. That's our Berthany McDermott reporting for us live in studio. Well, acting Prime Minister Chester Cooper says he's confident in the judicial system amid the FTX blowout.
I'm confident that the matter is in court. It's going to run its course. Confidence in the judicial system. Our main focus as a government will be to protect the ongoing reputation of the Bahamas.
Well, possible showers ahead this week. Forecaster Ian McKenzie has the latest from the Weather Center. Ian?
Thanks, Italia, and good evening, Bahamas. Here's your first look at weather. Currently outside our studios, we're under partly cloudy skies, a temperature of 74. Your winds are out of the east at 15 miles per hour, with a feels-like temperature of 79. Taking a look at your satellite and radar loop at this time, we have this frontal system just over the extreme northwest Bahamas. This should trigger 1 or 2 showers as it makes its way southwards and across the capital, where we should see an uptick in moisture tomorrow. That's your first look at weather. Stay tuned. More is still to come.
Still to come on our news, what led to a multi-car collision in downtown Nassau on Monday night. And the state minister for the public service reveals when promotions may be on the way for social services workers. Plus, your Christmas tree may not be the only thing shining this season. Our Jamila Mizik takes us inside some holiday fashion trends. That's all coming up when our news returns. What's coming up now is video from an apparent oil spill last night in downtown New Providence. The spill creating a domino effect, causing several cars to crash into each other. The Ministry of Works and Utilities issuing a statement about the situation, revealing that on Monday, the ministry received reports of an oil spill which impacted Cumberland and Duke Streets, along with portions of Shirley and Market Streets. An emergency team was dispatched to apply sand to the affected areas in an effort to absorb the oil. The ministry says a team is also monitoring the situation and within 24 hours will assess the asphalt and begin the process of removing the sand and safely disposing the oil. In the meantime, they are advising motorists to drive with caution when approaching those areas. While promotions and confirmation letters are on the way for social services workers, that's according to State Minister for Public Service, Pia Glover-Rule. Glover-Rule says they will begin receiving confirmation letters soon.
We have a number of batches of social services promotions and confirmations in the Public Service Commission at this time, and we have a number of files that we're still processing. In January, they'll start to see some of their letters come out. Definitely in the first quarter, they'll be completed.
Now, you may recall that in early November, scores of irate workers from the Ministry of Social Services protested outside the office of the Prime Minister in a bid to have their grievances heard. It was the second day over 100 employees had gathered to protest over lack of promotions, pay, and other issues. The state minister says they are taking extra steps to ensure those promotions and confirmations happen next month.
The Public Service Commission was due to break last week and have committed to work into this week specifically to handle the social services promotions and confirmations.
Coming up in sports for you tonight, our men's national baseball team, a tough loss against Curacao in the bronze medal contest. We'll give you details on that, and we'll also tell you the latest endeavors as DeAndre Ayton takes to the floor. He and the Suns putting up a good fight. We'll tell you all the details just ahead.
But first, our Marlena Leonard is live from Margaritaville with a taste of St. Somewhere Spa. You don't want to miss this experience right after this break. This is our news. Welcome back. The Don't Blink Home Run Derby in Paradise set for this weekend. Meanwhile, Buddy Hield trying to lead the Pacers to a win versus the Heat. Here's Marcellus Hall with a check on sports.
All right, thanks, Natalia. Welcome to our sports, everybody. I'm Marcellus Hall. Once again, it's about that time as the Don't Blink Home Run Derby in Paradise rolls around for another edition. This year, the event making its return to Montague Bay Foreshore, its original inception's home ground. That being said, co-founders Lucius Fox and Todd Isaacs Jr. pretty excited about what's ahead. Let's take a look about what this. The Don't Blink Home Run Derby in Paradise set to take place this weekend at Montague Bay Foreshore. The event, which is into its 5th installment, has been a fixture on the local sporting calendar since its inception. Co-founded by local professional baseball players Todd Isaacs Jr. and Lucius Fox, Don't Blink has continued to rise in popularity, both locally and abroad. By the way, the Don't Blink Celebrity Softball game comes your way tomorrow evening. That's going to be at Atlanta's Paradise Harbor. To the NBA, where Buddy Hield and his Indiana Pacers in action against the Miami Heat. Pacers looking good for most of the contest, but the Heat able to ride a late flurry by Jimmy Butler. They get the win 87-82. Buddy 35 minutes on the floor. He would lead his team in scoring with 19 points, would also add 9 rebounds and 2 assists in the losing cause. And that is your check on sports for you here on this Tuesday. I'm Marcellus Hall. Back to you, Italia.
Still ahead on our news tonight, what's trending in holiday fashion this year? Our Jamila Mizik gives us some insight. But first, what kind of weather do we have coming up this week? Ian is back with your extended forecast when our news returns. Welcome back to our news. We may have cooler temperatures in the capital soon. Ian is back in the Weather Center with your extended weather forecast.
Thanks, Natalia, and welcome back, everyone. Here's a look at your extended forecast. In our satellite loop, we have a weak frontal system that's exiting the area, while another one should continue to just move southwards across the extreme northwest Bahamas and make its way across the capital into late night, early tomorrow, where we should see an uptick in moisture from this system. Now, we want to keep our eye on this system right here that's taking shape across the Gulf states as it progresses towards our area into the weekend. This system is causing quite a bit of havoc across the Gulf states, as they have seen 1 or 2 tornadoes. However, we don't anticipate much activity from it as such, but we want to keep a close eye on this system. Take a look at a boating forecast in the northwest Bahamas. Small craft advisory still in place due to those northeasterly swells. Your winds will be northeast-east 15 to 20 knots. Tonight, falling off, becoming easterly 10 to 15 tomorrow. Seas will be running 4 to 7 feet, but up to 6 to 8 feet in those swells. High tide will be at 11:28 p.m. this evening. For the central and southeast Bahamas, again, we want to place a small craft advisory in effect due to those swells. Winds northeast-east 10 to 15 knots with your seas 2 to 4, but up to 6 to 9 feet in the swells. Here's a look at your extended forecast, rather your national forecast. And in your extended forecast, we anticipate a few showers across the area courtesy of that cold front. High pressure building in its wake. This high pressure should move off to the east by the weekend in advance of that funnel system that's expected to make its way into the weekend, increasing rain chances. Your highs will be in the low 80s with your lows in the low 70s. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a great week.
All right, thanks, Ian. While getting the perfect gift is not the only thing people are thinking of this holiday season, holiday fashion is also on the minds of many. So what's hot and what's not? Well, our Jamila Mizik fills us in.
It is the holidays, and that means it's time to dress up. But if you're not sure exactly what to wear, the ladies here at the Curated Closet are here to help. Bahamian fashion designer April Burrows has been in the business for more than 20 years, so she knows a thing or two about looking good. And whether you're dressing for an office party or a family get-together, here's what she says is trending this holiday season.
Everybody wants bling and sequins. Like, sequins is really what's trending right now in everything: dresses, pants, tops, just sparkles. And usually the new year is all about glitz and glam and sparkle, but it's already started. Colors for the season are obviously always black and red, but green is really big this season, like the hunter green, Christmas green they call it. That's really big this holiday as well.
And if you're balling on a budget but still want to add a little glam to your look, here's what you can do.
You know, I love revamping pieces that you already have, and I call it giving your outfits a second life. And so you've taken her out once, take her out again in a different way. If you have a long dress, you can get it shortened. If you have pieces like a top and a pants, you can mix it up, put a bustier over a really nice pants or a skirt, or just accessorize. If you're something very simple, you can accessorize it with jewelry, with a beautiful headband or headpiece. There's so many ways that we can just vamp up what we already have.
And Burrows says the ladies aren't the only ones flaunting their style this season.
So the men are going to be really, really fashionable this holiday season. Prints, you know, Bahamian men are not afraid of prints. They're not afraid of color, and so I'd say just, you know, try something different. If it, you know, as it gets cooler, blazers obviously are in. I saw a fantastic denim blazer the other day. A gentleman was wearing with a pink shirt and white pants. They're just mixing it up. So I just say have fun with it. Let your personality shine through.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Jamila Mizik.
All right, Jamila, I love it. I need to go and pick me out an outfit for this Christmas season. Great report. And thank you for joining us for Our News tonight. For all of the latest and breaking news, be sure to visit ournews.bs. And remember, you can share your favorite stories right from the Our News Bahamas Facebook page. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Natalia Hall. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening.